Hi guys, and welcome back to this journey towards excellent exam results. In these shorter revision videos, we are going to be breaking down different concepts within the GCSE geography specification. The aim of this is to help us understand the concepts better and to give us the information and confidence we need to answer exam questions. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the direct and indirect threats to the tropical rainforests. Okay, let's get started. Going back to the tropical rainforests, what are the direct and indirect threats to the tropical rainforests? Now, direct threats are deliberate actions that harm the rainforests, while indirect threats are unintended actions that bring harm to the rainforests. So we'll start off with the direct threats, so the deliberate actions that harm the rainforest. And one of them is farming. Now we know that the global population is growing rapidly, which then means that the demand for food is on the increase or is quite high as it is at the moment. Now that means that large-scale agriculture to produce that food is required. And this has led to the clearing of the rainforest for ranching in order to keep those animals for beef, for example, to keep cattle for beef, and also the clearing of the rainforest for the growing of soybeans. Now, because this is being done on a large scale, it's greatly impacting on the rainforest. So it's a direct threat. Then the second direct threat here is logging. So this is the cutting down of trees for commercial purposes. And when we are talking about commercial purposes, it means that it's being done on a large scale. And it's mainly because it's done by TNCs or the transnational corporations. So these are really large companies that are driven by, they are profit driven, and therefore will cut huge tracts of the rainforest, of the rainforest to be able to access that wood. So they cut the large areas of the rainforest for the emergence, such as mahogany, which is a hardwood. So that is quite needed, or is in high demand, and therefore is being cut down from the rainforest. Then we have mining. So large areas of the rainforest must be cut down to access the natural resources such as fossil fuels and precious minerals that are in the rainforest. Okay. Then the last direct threat is because of energy and infrastructure development. Now, as a result of LICs, as a lot of LICs develop, there's an increasing demand for energy and transport infrastructure, and the forests are therefore being cleared for roads and for that energy in the form of hydroelectric power stations. Now those hydroelectric power stations normally take up very large areas of the rainforest, and obviously when you clear down the trees, that does not necessarily have a good impact on the rainforest. Now we did say that there's a great reliance by the biodiversity that is in the rainforest. So you remember we talked about the food chain, and in the food chain we said that you have the primary producers that are relying on the sun, then the primary consumers are relying on those primary producers, then there's the secondary consumers and the tertiary consumers, and all of these are relying on each other. And therefore, if we destroy one part of the rainforest, that will have a large or a far-reaching impact on the rest of that ecosystem. So moving on then to the indirect threats. What are they? The first one here is climate change. Now, human activity has led to the enhanced greenhouse effect, and this has led to global warming. Now, certain species of animals and plants will be unable to survive these higher temperatures, and this will obviously lead to a reduction in the biodiversity. And we also have the desertification and drought as a problem as well. Okay, so this climate change obviously is a threat to the biodiversity that is in the tropical rainforests. Then we have pollution. So we talked about a rapidly growing population. We talked about mining that is taking place in this rainforest. So all this, and logging. So all this is likely to cause water pollution. Now, the water pollution here will reduce the resilience of the trees that are in the rainforest, and that will make them more susceptible to disease, and that will lead to habitat loss. Then we also have air pollution, which then leads to acid rain, and the acid rain, the acid content in that rain will have a negative impact on the rainforest. Then the last thing here we'll talk about in terms of indirect threats are the invasive species. Now, this involves the introduction of non-native species, so species that have not always been in this particular area. And this sometimes can either be accidental or for increasing agricultural productivity. And when this happens, it will disturb the ecological balance that is in that particular ecosystem, which in this case here is a tropical rainforest, and will obviously harm and affect the biodiversity. So we have direct and indirect threats here, and we need to know this for the examination. That brings us to the end of this video on the direct and indirect threats to tropical rainforests. I hope that you have found the information insightful and useful. I have also done a video covering the whole of topic 8 on forests under threat. It will pop up as one of the suggested videos at the end of this one, and can also be found in the Forests Under Threat playlist. Videos on all the other subtopics within this topic are also in that playlist. There's also a playlist for the next topic, which is consuming energy resources. Thanks once again for joining in this journey towards excellent exam results. All the best, and see you again soon. Bye-bye.